Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Rosie here, and I play Dead by Daylight, so you don't have to. So, as I've been getting my feet wetter into this game, as you could say, now that, my time for the next 2 weeks is going to be spent producing more content and just chilling, I've been playing some games off stream, playing some more killers that we haven't played in a while on stream, etc., etc. And so one of the killers I finally got around to playing today was Bubba. And if you know me, I'm somebody that is very dedicated to kind of the shit characters on the roster, trying to keep for Keystone and below. So to kind of dabble in these A tiers again has been quite the experience. We played a game as Oni. It was a massacre. We've been learning artist and getting better at her slowly. Tiles feel way more different as that character. And then there's Bubba, which Bubba's a character that I've had some distance from, just because we haven't played him as of late, because he's too good. I generally try to stay away from characters that are too good. But in my Discord server, there was a debate a while back. If you're in there, you might remember it. Well, J-Man, the comp clown at the time, hopefully he's finally came to his senses and quit, was talking about how Leatherface isn't even good. And I think one thing that has to be noted is, of course, if you if you're a comp clown and you know it's Bubba and you devote your entire build to destroying Bubba, you devote your entire build to destroying him without any bans, or the Bubba can't ban anything like a sprint burst or something like that, with no bans in your comp rule set, well, maybe sprint burst is banned in his stupid whatever rule set he has to actually go off of in a comp scene, whatever. But the point is, if you know it's this character, you can devote your resources and play incredibly optimal as a Swift to beat him. But that applies to everybody. Every killer is bad under that perspective, except for maybe the top three, who can probably get to. But my main point here is that you're going to find when you play this character, you're just going to smash everything. He is so good. He's so good. I don't know how you can look at this game and say he's not top 5. Again, from the perspective of comp clowns, he might actually be kind of weak because, you devote your entire build to stopping him, etc., etc. Shit like that would beat anybody. But, he has some truly underrated aspects that we're going to go into here. And it's not just the camping, because your first instinct is to go, bruh, he's so good at camping, he's the best camper in Dead by Daylight, which he absolutely is. He gets all the benefits of 8 stacks to save the best for last, even better than that, actually. He gets them for free, and he has better than 8 stacks of Save the Best for Last at base kit, and that's just really, really good. So you're analyzing that, but that's not the only reason he's good. He has so many more good things about him that put him head and shoulders above the other characters, even against Swifts. He can realistically get to in a lot of situations. And I think a big reason for that is twofold. His chase is very, very unique in that, number one, he generates more fear than other killers because you don't have a hell state to sponge. Against every other character on the roster, well, almost every other character on the roster, against most characters on the roster, let's say that, you have one hell state to sponge, and then you get a speed boost. That makes every character's chase go in 2 parts. There's the first part, which the survivors are more reluctant to give up, to get a speed boost, to get a transition, to get to the etc. They know they have 2 health states. Against this character, that's not exactly true. Against Billy, that's not necessarily true, but this character has more control that makes him better than a hillbilly. But so think about that. So as you play this character, the fact that your chases don't have 2 parts, super good. That's a super underlooked thing on him. But yeah, the instant chainsaw, instant down, etc. But it gets even better than that, because a Ghostface's chase doesn't have the 2 parts on certain points, or other characters like a Myers, for instance, or again a Billy. But Bubba has so much control. Okay, he has so much control over a tile, and when he actually again, this is the same with Billy, but except Bubba's just so much more consistent at it. You don't have to do any weird angles on him. You just have to completely follow your target 100% of the time. Whereas Billy, some angles you may not be able to actually get it. You got to rev at the correct time, etc., etc. Whereas on Bubba, yeah, it's not true. And when you do this, okay, when you get behind them, rev, and they drop a pallet, and you break the damn thing, Like, think about how much time you save. Like, kick a pallet as a killer that has to do a base kick pallet animation. Like, do it! And then once you're playing Bubba, you just are so much more aggro because holy fucking shit, you save so much time by kicking that pallet, and they haven't shaken you yet. You're still right on top of them because they don't have any real time to transition between the tiles. And then they get to the next pallet, and then if they throw it down, you do it again. He counters pre-dropping, essentially. Like, he's the efficiency at which he mows down pallets is super good at dealing with the concept of pre-dropping. He can just shred pallets faster than a lot of the roster. That's a very good thing at these higher MMRs where you see more pre-droppers that just throw the fucking things down. Boom, moving on. Like, that pallet per kick probably wouldn't have been worth on another character, because you know that you're predominantly going to play the rest of the match over on this side because the 3 gens are there, etc. And it probably wouldn't have been worth it, but on this character you can kind of get away with it, just in case the game does go back over there. So now we go over this way, and let's talk about the other thing that this character does really well. Because he can insta-down you with such efficiency and such control, like, the difference between this character and Billy is that when Billy fucks up, okay, like, this is what people don't talk about. And again, saying Billy fucks up is not exactly a far-fetched thing because of the fact that the survivors have a good counterplay to him. The devs have acknowledged this when in their nerf on Billy. The survivors have a fair amount of counterplay to the power, so they didn't want to change it that much, even though they ended up butchering it, but that's beside the point. Like, look at how she couldn't make another tile before we were on top of her again. Now we're gonna miss and fuck at the execution, but like, that was a down. It should have been, but like, so when Billy messes up, he actually takes a punish. When the survivors do the Billy juke to Bubba, what does Bubba do? He readjusts and hits them anyway. They have to be at a tile. They have no dead zone counterplay to this character. Okay? And why am I telling you this? Because if you were found at a dead zone against most of the roster, you have counterplay. This is the only character in the game where if he finds you at a dead zone, no matter what game state it is, you're dead. You're going to take it down. There's really nothing you can do. Like, when you're saying there's nothing you can do against Billy at a dead zone, that's not necessarily true. Again, devs have admitted that there's counterplay to the chase, and part of that counterplay is knowing how to fuck the Billy's camera up. You cannot do that to Leatherface. He will always take it down at a dead zone against him, unless the Bubba's extraordinarily bad and, like, hits, like, a tree or something. Maybe. But, like, so back to the main point here. So the chase doesn't get 2 parts. Let's tie this all together. What perk are you not seeing when you play as Leatherface? What perk is it? There's one perk in the game that he absolutely crushes. There's one perk in the game that he has he is the biggest check to. There's one perk in this game that if you play Bubba, you will barely see it. And when you do, it's okay because, like, it's not even as bad when you're playing Bubba because the chase is only 2 hits again. It's the basic health state economy of Dead by Daylight. What Bubba does, ladies and gentlemen, if you've watched any of my content, you definitely know what perk I'm talking about. He Shreks dead hard more than any other perk in the game. He Shreks it. He crushes dead hard. And when 85% of survivors are bringing dead hard into the matches, most of your games you're going to be playing survivors using the fucking perk. Okay? So they're not going to realistically be able to do anything because you counter their exhaustion perk. They don't get that bullshit. That's why your matches are easier. Your matches are significantly easier as this character because of all the previously mentioned reasons, but like the camping, etc., having that better than 8 stacks save the best for last in your camping game, but also the dead hard counter. Your ability to actually put pressure on the board earlier. The ability to create those dead zones faster that he capitalizes on. Like, this character is so well designed, I can't believe Behavior actually designed him. Because, like, he works together. His strengths work together. He wants dead zones. He's also good at creating dead zones. Those areas of his kit work together. And then of course, he just counters dead hard. And he can shred through BT, which is another thing you can do if you're at 3. Like, against this character, the only real counter are the windows. So if you bring Bamboozle, you can just vault the window and then shred the pallet down and create the dead zone at the tile. Like, he's great. His only direct counter are the windows. And again, transitions can still get him, and you can still kite him long enough. And the other exhaustion perks he doesn't like too much. So like if you bring like life, I think life is the perk he likes the least. Life and sprint burst, maybe sprint burst probably. But if you bring a life, it kind of counters the bamboozle, and if you just kind of effectively pick out a transition, like you can't tie kite this character. Their pallets will be shredded, and you can't really have that. But just the ability to just not see a fucking dead hard, bro. You have no idea how impactful that is. Like you can play this character knowing that perk is going to be low impact factor. That's why your games feel easier, because this game is more balanced when dead hard's not in it. Now again, this doesn't make Bubba like super god tier, awesome, dead hard counter XD. He's a balanced character. No, of course not. 4-man Swift crushes this character just like they crush everything else. Like they do. But just like look at that. That we know this person has dead hard because I've played this game. Like look at what we just ignored there. If we were a different character, we only would have gotten one health state there. She would have ran to the other side of the map, and then they probably would have had a healing party. Since Bubba's health state economy is good, he also ignores Circle of Healing. Another good thing in today's meta, where you can just ignore that perk. You don't need to care about it, because you don't care if they heal. I mean, yes, you'll have to hit a chainsaw other than a basic attack, but if you're a good Bubba, you're hitting chainsaws all the time anyway. Like, you don't really care if they're healing, because you're chainsawing them anyway, more often than not. So you don't give a shit. It's great. It's great. Like, modern DBD, like, the modern DBD, he just has such, like, a way to, like, go after. He has a way to tackle it, go after, play it, camp. He's good at camping, good in the chase, good at everything you need to be good at to be considered a good character in this game. Like, if you have him anywhere below A tier, you're just simply objectively wrong. Like, why is he bad? Because Swift beats him? Is that the argument for him being bad is? Like, what is the argument for him being bad? Map pressure? I mean, yeah, sure, Swift. There's not enough character. Yeah, sure. He won't be able to like hit the map effectively enough to like beat a Swift. Yeah, sure. But like, who else has that problem? What other characters on the pro? Like, why is he bad specifically? Saying like he can't do that is like kind of a cop out, because like every other character in the game can't do that either. So, and it's like no one's saying he's top 3. Nobody's saying he's top 3. And I don't necessarily know if he's top 5. I don't know if I go that far, because our artist is very good at playing the tiles. And of course, the jungle gyms can still be rough, and he still has the vault to get the bamboozle, and then you can still like kite him long enough. So like you definitely still can do that. So top 5, I mean, maybe he's at that number 5 spot. Like who is the contention to take him away from that number 5 spot right now? Oni, Hag. I don't think Hag's countered by flashlight. So is Artist though. Like he's in that tier. He's certainly in that tier. Like who Oni maybe, Hag maybe. Other than that, not too sure who you're really realistically thinking. Twins? Not with Circle of Healing in the game. With the ability for those heals to speed up, I don't think Twins. As long as Circle of Healing's in the game at the capacity it is, as long as it's a meta perk, because that perk's still meta. Just because the self-healing space aren't jacked anymore, doesn't mean the perk isn't jacked, especially on Twins. And whose meta is direct 2-and-2 counterplay, like that perk still absolutely fucks them. So I think they're out. I don't know. Huntress? No, get the fuck out of here. Pyramid Head? Depends on how whose chase you view as better, which I think Bubba's more efficient. And Pyramids they still have direct control over, which I don't think that's applicable in Bubba. Pyramid does have free tunnels, so but Pyramid Head is another character that's really equipped to play modern DBD with the camping and the tunneling. But I digress. I've made my point. So it's like, why do your Bubba matches feel easier? I hope I've answered that. For a very oppressive chase to a top-tier efficiency at pallet shredding. Like, if you have to get rid of the pallets on the map, because I know the top 3 characters don't really have to get rid of the pallets, but if you have to get rid of the pallets, there's no faster way of doing it than this character. And the health state, the economy of health states doesn't really matter to this character. So That's my best way of saying that he counters Circle of Healing and Dead Hard in one actual go around. But like the borrow time counter, so like how many meta perks is this kid countering now? 3 of 4, and he doesn't have any direct counterplay to DS. But when you're fucking as lethal and good at shredding shit, you shouldn't really be getting hit by DSs. Your efficiency should be carrying you to beat most teams. And again, at the highest MMR, none of this will work. But the point is, like, this character's B tier, this character's bad. I don't know. I don't think so. There's way too many positive attributes here, and there's way too good of an ability to play modern Dead by Daylight. And look at the perks. You see the fucking Dead Hards. I don't know, bruh. I just think that the way this... Like, maybe he'll fall when Dead Hard actually gets nerfed and most characters can actually deal with a chase in a more effective manner. But right now, you take this character, you should probably win the game unless it's like a huge 4-man sliv. I don't know. That's just me. I'm getting the hell out of here, lads. G fucking G's. What did you guys think about old Bubba? Let me know in the comments below.